Hey there everybody, Mazrock here, and today we've got upcoming Death Knight changes on Dragonflight Alpha. Now these changes aren't yet implemented, they will only be implemented in the next Alpha build, most likely, so we don't have a tree to play with. But particularly, I wanted to cover Blood, because there's a lot of changes occurring with that spec tree. So, please like, comment, subscribe. It goes such a long way to helping out the channel. I cannot believe how much support. I'm honestly flabbergasted. Thank you so much, everybody. If you want to continue this discussion, there is a community Discord link down below filled with absolutely amazing people. We can continue that down there, or you can catch me on stream, live on Twitch, link down below there as well as a Patreon link if you wish to support me directly. All right, so let's get into it. They're moving some things baseline. Yes! Death's Advance. This has been moved baseline and will now be learned at level 9. Yes! Lichborn is now baseline. Yes! Oh, I love seeing things like this. Unholy Endurance is now positioned where Lichborn was previously located in the talent tree. We're not going to go over what all of these things do. There are some more particular things that I want to kind of cover down there. New talent, March of Madness. Death's Advance grants additional movement speed. I think this is going to be basically the conduit that we have now, but any little extra movement speed that we can give Blood DK, the better. Horn of Winter has been cut from the class tree and will return as a frost talent in a future build. Insidious Chill, your auto attacks reduce the target's auto attack speed by 5% for 30 seconds, stacking up to 4 times. Chef's Kiss. I love this. Tyrannical bosses, things like that. This is, I mean, if you look at your damage breakdown in a key, or even a raid encounter, so much more damage coming in from just regular old auto attacks than anything else. Everything else might kill you, but the auto attacks pose such a big danger. So this is actually really, really nice for Blood DKs. Runic Corruption and Runic Empowerment are gone. I don't really like the idea of Horn of Winter and all of this being gone. I think this is a really heavy nerf to Blood, although I think this was also a little too OP for Blood, kind of from what I was seeing from alpha builds and stuff like that. There was just so many resources that you were just swimming in them. I think this was an attempt to kind of rein them in, and I'm hoping that it just didn't go too far. But we're going to have to see with actual gameplay, right? Runic Attenuation is now positioned where the Runic Empowerment, Runic Corruption node was located. We have a new talent. Gloom Ward. Absorbs are 15% more effective on you. This theoretically should go with the Permafrost, Auto Attack Absorb, your Anti-Magic Shell. I think there's a Blood Shield as well. So there's a lot of things that this could have a lot of synergies with. This could also affect Trinkets as well. A 15%, like, you know, if this affects Trinkets, this could be a very, very powerful talent to take. So we will see how that works out, but I like the idea here. They're trying something new, they're going for it, and I really, really like it. Now, we do have some changes to the Blood tree itself. Blood Boil now just straight up has 2 charges instead of 1. Good choice. I love it. Improved Blood Boil's cut for obvious reason, because it gave you the 2nd charge, which you don't need because you now have 2. Woohoo! Rune Tap now has 2 charges, up from 1, making this an actual talent worth pressing now, or worth taking now, because with the current like how Blood Death Knight was working, we had like 49 talent points to be able to put in everywhere, and you only have 30 options, and that really hurt the Blood tree. So this is going to make it a lot better and a lot more and a lot more smooth in the rotation. We have improved Heart Strike, which is reduced from 3 talent points to 2 at max rank, and they increased it to 15% to make up the difference, so it's still going to be a 30% increase to Heart Strike damage total. Blood Fortification is straight up cut from the tree. Thank goodness. We had like 6 nodes at the start, which was literally just stamina. This is now learned at level 11. Don't worry, you're not losing it. It's now baseline for Blood. Good. That is good. I love it. Everlasting Bond. Now this one, if you like the current playstyle of Blood, this one's going to hurt a little bit. Death Strike and Heart Strike no longer increase the duration of Dancing Rune Weapon while it's active. Now, Everlasting Bond just straight up increases the duration of Dancing Rune Weapon by 8 seconds. That's taking a knife and stabbing repeatedly, or maybe just a big old machete and just massacring. I mean, an 8-second improvement on Dancing Rune Weapon is nice, but it's not nowhere near what we have now, or what we even had now in alpha. So we're going to read the dev note here on this, and some people are going to agree, some people are not. I'm kind of stuck 50-50 on this one, so we'll kind of see. While the active extending DRW with Heart Strike and Death Strike can be fun, it can quickly overshadow the rest of Blood's gameplay decisions. Very, very true, because I actually preferred Blood's iteration in Season 1 and 2 more than I did 3, although I will not deny that the power of Blood in Season 3 is absolutely crazy. In order to address this, we will change Everlasting Bond to be a flat duration increase in addition to its existing mechanic of summoning one extra copy of Dancing Rune Weapon. You're still getting both, you're just getting an 8-second extension, and there's no longer the game of how long can you keep up Dancing Rune Weapon. Our goal here is to open up more options throughout the tree, as well as avoid making one style of gameplay feel mandatory and permanently moving forward. I understand this, I do. Like, I get the mentality behind this. Because right now, basically, if you're not trying to get, like, you know, 100% effective uptime on Dancing Rune Weapon, are you really even playing Blood and High Keys? Improved Bone Shield reduces to 1 max stack down from 2. And it now increases haste by 10% while Bone Shield is active. This is just basically giving us back what we had on live. So, nice. Good choice. Thank you for giving us back what we have online. Vamp Blood is now available above the first gate directly below Morrowind. There is a mock-up of a tree of what it's going to look like, but there's nothing interactive yet. We're going to take a look at that when it's done. Dancing Rune Weapon has moved to a higher point into the tree and is available immediately after unlocking the first gate. This is very, very good. Hemostasis is, instead of being 2 points, is now 1 point. Love to see it. This is chipping away at the talent point bloat that Blood DK tree had, because like I said, when the first iteration of the tree came out, and for spec tree, and the one you can still play with now on Wowhead, unless they've been crazy quick on changing this. Let's just double check just to make sure, because when I checked it yesterday or 2 days ago, it was still the old version. Come on, blood. It is still the old version. So yeah. Where was I going with that? It was very difficult. Like, you had 49, like, look at this. You have 49 total talent point options here, and you only have access to 30. That hurts. Like, that is, you were leaving so much stuff behind, and they're bringing this down and more in line with, you know, having actually 30 talent points, but still being able to make choices. I think having an extra empty 19 points is kind of bad. Hasty Bargain, renamed Perseverance of the Ebon Blade, which now grants 3 and 6% versatility instead of haste when Crimson Scourge is consumed. I don't care. I really don't care. Okay. It's not interesting. It's there. It's nice. Versus nice. Let's go. Voracious and Bloodworms are no longer choice nodes with one another. Gorfine's Grasp is now centrally located within the tree within multiple pathing options to reach it. This was a big pain point in the Blood tree. The fact that you could get that just to get Purged, for example, you could go with the Tightening Grasp 2-point node and not even get Gorfine's Grasp felt really bad. So this is going to make it a much better alleviation to the pain point there. Tightening Grasp can now only be obtained directly after Gorfine's Grasp, which, again, there's that pain point I just talked about, right? Where, like, you had Tightening Grasp, but you didn't even have Gorfine's Grasp, and you're like, okay, what do I do? This sucks. And instead of 2 points, it's 1 point! Yay! Heartrend, reduced down to 1 from 2. Then we have a list of new talents here, and some of these actually sound pretty fun. Blood Feast. Anti-magic shell heals you for 100% of the damage it absorbs. I like it. Ironheart. Blood Shield's duration is increased by 2 seconds, and it absorbs 20% more damage. In physical encounters, especially, like, you know, raid prog, where, like, you just get trucked by melee and things like that, or even in higher keys, Blood Shield does see an actual amount of good healing, and this is going to be a nice talent additive. It's going to be added in. It's going to be a little more niche than you may think, but it's not high, like super niche. This is like you can press into this and still pretty much always get some sort of value out of it. New talent, Bloodshot. While Blood Shield is active, you deal 25% increased physical damage. This is one I don't super care for. And the reason why is, especially the moment you start pushing higher keys, your Blood Shield is almost never active. Like, you get it, and it just depletes so fast, where you're almost never going to have this 25% increase physical damage. There needs to be, like, a minimum amount of time, like 3 seconds on this or whatever, because especially with the amount of damage that you take in high keys, anybody that's played Blood in a plus 20 or above understands on a big pull, like, you're literally just yo-yoing. Like, it's eating through your Blood Shield so incredibly fast that you're never going to get this. So in low damage encounters, this is going to be nice. Like, for example, a raid where, like, there's some sort of 30-second taunt off, and for 30 seconds you're just there doing damage. Well, you're not taking much damage unless there's environment damage or anything like that, because you're not actively tanking the boss, so you could pretty easily maintain a Blood Shield and get a 25% increased damage while that's going on. So there is some use for this, but Mythic Plus, I don't see this being great. New talent, Sanguine Ground. You deal 5% more damage and receive 5% more healing while standing in your Death and Decay. Now, with the way Death and Decay is going to be working in Dragonflight, you're going to be able to have a 100% uptime on it, right? Because you're going to be able to get 2 charges. So the moment one starts going away and you know there's like a second left on it, you drop down another one, boom, you constantly have it going. This is going to kind of recreate a little bit of the Consecrate playstyle of Paladin. So we're going to kind of have to see how that works out. I don't hate the idea of this, but I'm not super in love with it anyway. Like, Blood Decay is already pretty immobile and doesn't like to move, so it works synergistically, but this just kind of reinforces that a little bit more. So I like it, I'm not in love with it, let's say. Oh man, you want to hear me butcher this word? Coagulopathy. I think that's it. Enemies affected by Blood Plague take 5% increased damage from you, and Death Strike increases the damage of your Blood Plague by 25% for 8 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Alright, that's a lot to process. This is going to be a big single target buff to Blood Plague. Now, will that make Blood Plague relevant in single target? I don't know, but it's going to help. Because right now, especially in, like, Blood Plague deals okay damage in AoE. It's really not bad, but it's not great. Like, it's not your, oh shit, like, I need Blood Plague, like, oh my god, I'm going to lose out on so much, right? You're going to naturally do it with Blood Boil, but the problem with Blood Plague now is, in any single target environment, it feels super lackluster. And this is a way for you to upkeep this buff so, like, fairly easy. I think the problem that's going to happen is this 8 seconds. As long as it keeps adding up and you do a Death Strike every 8 seconds, this shouldn't be too bad. But you need to make sure that you got that going on for you to have 125% Blood Plague damage increase on single target, right? You could probably maintain this on 2 targets as well. It'd be a lot more difficult to do because you need to, like, quite literally, you know, Death Strike, Death Strike, Death Strike, Death Strike, and constantly be swapping over. A little bit more difficult to do, but definitely possible. But you'd also be able to get just an increase on Blood Plague on 2 targets fairly easy. Well, maybe you're not maintaining the entire 125% buff. I like this. I really like this. In my Dragonflight's wishlist video, I had actually asked for some way to make Blood Plague more noticeable in single target, and this is fantastic. Umbiculus Eternus. After Vamp Blood expires, you absorb damage equal to 5 times the damage your Blood Plague dealt during Vamp Blood. Now, this is going to be changing Unquenchable Thirst, which I'm really sad we never got to play with Unquenchable Thirst, but yeah. This talent, so Unquenchable Thirst has been cut and replaced with Umbiculus Eternus. Unquenchable Thirst had a bit of a design overlap with Bone Storm and Shattering Bone on the opposite side of the tree. The choice to replace it was done to add what we hope is a more interesting decision point as you navigate toward the Capstones, especially factoring with the synergy of the new Blood Plague talents and existing Vamp Blood talents. So this is so true. You have nice synergies with Coagulopathy. I think that's how you pronounce it. God, I think I'm doing even a decent job of it. And this, I don't hate it, and it gives you more healing options. that can really work in AoE, can work in single target. Unfortunately, I think Bone Storm needs to get like seriously buffed, but whatever. I actually had really liked the idea of Unquenchable Thirst. It dealt like a bunch of damage based on the amount of healing that you took. It seemed super fun, and you could actually really play around it. I'm kind of sad to see that gone, but I mean, I'm not sad to see this Umbiculus kind of arrive. So this is what the new Blood Tree is going to look like. As you can see, it looks a lot more streamlined and a lot better, right? There's going to be a lot less bloat here, although there is some difficulties in kind of getting things around. And I don't know what all of these, like, the new talents are added in, and they have some of the new pictures for them. And since I can't like hover over and play with them, it's going to be a little difficult to know exactly what they are. But here, you know, kind of have the start of the tree. 1 point, you get 2 charges of Blood Boil. Such a good change. Vamp Blood is up here. Your cutoff is right here still, like right above Dancing Rune Weapon, but you have easy access to it down the middle with Everlasting Bond, and you have all of the Dancing Rune Weapons right in the middle. It's no longer Capstones, which makes this so much better and so much more fun to take. I really like this. You have Rune Tap, which has been moved all the way to the left-hand side here. A lot easier to take. Hemostasis, I'm pretty sure that's the Hemostasis button. Consumption and Blood Drinker is right here, like, or is that Hemostasis? I think that's Hemostasis. Man, they all look the same. Man, I need some more coffee. Oh. But yeah, so you do have some changes to where this is. So, like, for example, but where's Gorfine's Grass? So Gorfine's Grass is right here, and you have to take it to go here. Now, you do not have to take it to get Purg anymore. You can go down this Tombstone node right here, which the Tombstone node is right above Shattering Bone, Bone Storm. I think this is the Umbiculus Eternus. Then you kind of go down. This would be Red Thirst, or this would be Umbiculus Eternus. I don't really know. It's going to be fun to play with. All in all, I'm looking at this, and like rapid decomposition moved over here. So many good changes. This looks so much more streamlined. And if you want to kind of go down here, if you want to go down to the right and then just hard shift to the left, you can, or vice versa. You seem to have a lot of options to move around and play with. Although once you kind of started on the right here, you're kind of locked down with going all the way down, or the left, it's kind of the same. But it does give you a lot more choices and a lot more options, and I actually really, really do like a lot of these changes. I think it's going to make Blood a really fun tank. I really like what they did here. I've been saying for like 2 weeks now where like people are like, man, Blood's going to be dead, there's no changes. Relax, there's going to be changes. They're going to throw everything out. I'm sure they're working on it very hard. The dev for Death Knights is apparently a just kind of what they refer to as a silent assassin at the Blizzard office. He doesn't really like to communicate or put his name out there. He just likes to kind of work inwardly. But he reads all the feedback, he looks at all the feedback, and he's working really hard on these trees. And it's apparent. Look, this is amazing work. This looks so much better than the original version. And you got to remember, the original version we got was one of the 2 first trees ever released for classes anyway. So this is really, really good. He honestly took all the feedback and created something a lot more streamlined and something that's going to be a lot easier to kind of, if there are pain points, this looks like it's going to be much easier to move things around and kind of work things out, because you don't have a lot of the cumbersome talent options and stuff to pick. So very, very good. I really like to see this, and I think any further changes to Blood DK are just going to be better. The class tree is going to be better. I think Blood is in for a very fun gameplay style than we've ever had. So that is it. What do you think of the new Blood DK class and class changes and the Blood DK spec tree? I would love to hear your opinions down in the comment sections down below. And as we're ending this video, I would like to take this time to thank my patrons. I hope you guys, thank you very much. I cannot do it without you guys. Thank you very, very much. Have yourselves a good one, and happy tanking.